Hi everyone, and welcome to Weeding Secret and episode 3 of soap making from scratch. Now what I've got on here are lots of different oils and butters that I'm going to be using during this series. As I said yesterday, we will just be starting with one oil for our first recipe. If you missed episode 1 or 2, I have a playlist in the description box below the video called Soap Making from Scratch. And every video in this series will automatically be added to that playlist. So make sure you watch from episode 1. Link in the description box below the video for that. Okay, so let's start over at this side here. And I've got a lot of oils and butters here, and I'm going to tell you what the prices are per kilo. So I'm going to start off with palm oil. The reason I'm starting with palm oil is there is a lot of people that will not put palm oil in their soaps. It's a fantastic oil for soap. It makes your soap bars harder, and it's just really great. Now if you're going to buy palm oil, you need to buy sustainable palm oil, and if you buy sustainable palm oil, you're helping to support those people who are out in the fields in a proper, healthy, certified, sustainable way, and then you're not taking their livelihoods away from them. So I do like to use palm oil in my recipe, but I've also got a palm free recipe for you coming up as well. So we're going to, I'll just take a scoop of that out there so you can see what it looks like. I'm thinking if I do a scoop of everything, it's going to make this video a lot longer. But as you can see, it is in a solid form. It's lovely. It's a lovely, lovely oil. So yeah, although it's solid, it is still an oil. The next one I have here, it's a bit softer because it's nice and warm in here. But usually when a delivery of palm oil and coconut oil comes here, it's cold outside. So the coconut oil tends to be harder than the palm oil, and you need to let it warm up somewhat to be able to scoop it like this. So it is, again, it's an absolutely beautiful oil, coconut oil, absolutely gorgeous. Don't use the extra virgin coconut oil. I'm not sure how that works in cold processed soap. I don't know anyone that's used it. I haven't seen. I'm sure people have. So yeah, go for the just regular coconut oil. And I forgot to tell you the prices for palm oil and coconut oil. It's round about the same price per kilo, at round about £3 to £5. Now over here we have some butters. Now they're solid as well. So what we have here is some cocoa butter. You can see it's not a smooth looking oil. It is on the outside, but inside it's like sort of bubbles that have all just mulched themselves together. Coconut oil, cocoa butter is a beautiful oil. It's about £14 per kilo. I've got some coconut butter here from the soapery, and coconut butter is a more expensive butter. It's about £23 per kilo. All of these butters and oils have different qualities. It feels nice and hard, not anywhere near as hard as the cocoa butter, probably half as hard as the cocoa butter. Very, very similar to shea butter in its feel, but its qualities are probably different. And the price, did I tell you the price for the coconut butter? It's £23 per kilo. Most of these butters I've actually got from the Soapery, which are in the UK. I've got some organic mango butter here. Now, organic mango butter is about £28 per kilo. And that feels a little more emollient, beautiful to rub your fingers over. Similar to, I would say that's a cross between cocoa butter and shea butter, as though the two had been mixed together. Probably beautiful for a massage bar, just on its own. But we're not making massage bars, we're making soap. So we also have some avocado butter here. For a kilo of avocado, we're talking about £17. Now this butter is much softer, as though there's more liquid oil. I'm not saying there's liquid oil added, I'm just trying to explain to you what they feel like. So this feels like a shea butter, but it has, as though it's got oil, liquid oil added into it. It has no smell. All beautiful quality oils here. So the next butter we have is this is refined shea butter. You can buy unrefined, which will have a little bit of a more yellowy colour to it. The refined shea butter is whiter and a little bit harder. It's absolutely beautiful. You can feel the gorgeous oils in there. Now shea butter is why is it not on my list? It is on my list. It's about £10 per kilo. And then I've got the organic version here as well. And you can see that the organic version is a much yellower colour. Oh wow, oh the smell, that smells incredible. That smells like, wow, that is I just want to eat it. What does it smell of? I recognise that smell. It's strong, it has a strong smell. Like that on its own to make a massage bar would be enough without putting any fragrance oil into it whatsoever. Wow, I've never had organic shea butter before. And if I remember what it smells like, I'll let you know. It smells like some essential oil. So that's our butters out of the way. So the organic shea butter is also about £10. From the Soapery, it's about £10 per kilo. Right, let's move on to some liquid oils, which are often known as fractionated. Because you can actually, I haven't got any, you can actually get liquid coconut oil, which is known as fractionated coconut oil. And then you can get the solid oil, like we have. Both are oils. Right, so where we're going to start first. A very popular ingredient in soap making is rice bran oil. This I just got from my local supermarket. Sainsbury's actually. It's about £5 per kilo. I've got some flaxseed oil. I just bought it. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but that's about £25 per kilo. We've got some avocado oil here. That's liquid as well. That's about, might have been about £7 for that bottle. I haven't written it on my list, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. Just making sure it's not there. Yeah. So also here I've bought some sea buckthorn oil. Now that sea buckthorn oil is very expensive, so you wouldn't really put that in cold processed soap. A soap is meant to be cleansing. It's not a moisturizer, but you can make it more moisturizing. So your expensive butters and oils, if you wanted to put them in, you would really just put a small amount in there just to give your soap some label appeal. That's what we call it, some label appeal. When you see cocoa butter or shea butter on the label, it just makes it sound so much more luxurious, doesn't it? So the same would be if you put like sea buckthorn in there. Rosehip oil is another one. I would tend to use rosehip oil for a face cream or for the body. But we're probably going to put some in some soap somewhere down the line. Now that's about £55 for 1 kilo. So you see why you wouldn't waste something like that in a bar of soap. Hemp oil is fairly inexpensive. £13.25 for a kilo. It's a really rich green colour, so it is going to change the colour of your soap ever so slightly. It's not going to make a great difference. I've got sweet almond oil here. I tend not to use sweet almond oil just for people so they know that there's no nut allergies present in any of my soaps. But sweet almond oil is a great addition to a bar of soap, and it's only about £6.50 a litre. I mean, obviously these prices I'm giving you, it all depends on the quantity that you're buying. You know, the more you buy, the cheaper it is per kilo. The less you buy, the more expensive it is per kilo. So these are just a roundabout prices I've got for you. And obviously in other countries you've got your Canadian dollars, your Australian dollars, your US dollars, you know, your euro if you're in Europe, and then whatever, you know, the currency is in the Far East or Russia or Africa. I know I've got people watching from those countries, like even Trinidad and Tobago. People are watching. I'm always getting messages from people telling me where they are in the world, and some of them are really far out of reach areas. So hello to all of you if you're watching. We've also got did I do apricot kernel oil? Apricot kernel oil is about £8.25 a kilo. We've got passion seed oil. That's about £20 per kilo. This is an expensive one, but I am going to make a soap because I want to make an Aleppo soap. An Aleppo soap is made with olive oil and laurel berry oil, but laurel berry oil is very expensive. However, you might want to create just, you know, going forward, you might, that's why I'm doing all these different mixtures, because you might want your soap to just be olive oil and laurel berry oil. And laurel berry oil is about £80 for a kilo. I bought half a kilo. While we've got the olive, no, I'm going to save the olive oil till last. Jojoba oil, jojoba oil is a beautiful oil, especially for the face. It has the nearest qualities to the oil that's in our skin. And jojoba oil is about £26 per kilo. I've bought some corn oil. I'm not even sure how this works in cold process, but if you've used corn oil in soap, let us know in the comments down below the video, so I can find out whether it's any good in soap and is it okay to make soap with. Right, second to last is sunflower oil. Sunflower oil is a nice cheap oil. It's about £1 per kilo. It's really nice in soap. The last oil we're looking at today is olive oil, and the reason I've left the olive oil till last is because the first soap I'm going to make will be a castile soap that is literally just made of olive oil, lye and water. I'm doing the olive oil because I want to start with one oil for the recipe, so that you can just start with one oil as well and just make it as inexpensive as we possibly can going forward. Now, I made an olive oil soap last year just as lockdown began, and it's taken a long time to cure, but it is a really lovely bar of soap. It's got no smell or anything in it, no fragrance or anything, and I was so happy with it that I thought that's what I would start with for this series. Now obviously there are many other oils and butters out there that you can use to make soap. I'm not going to be selling these soaps. I'm just making really tiny batches of them, so that you can see what works and actually what might not work either. I'm not expecting every single recipe is going to be perfect. An ingredient that's out there that I do see a lot of people using is sodium lactate, and everybody, I say everybody, I mean quite a lot of people ask me if I ever use it. I actually have never used sodium lactate, and the reason being, my soap unmolds perfectly without it the next day. I have forgotten one oil, haven't I? The oil I forgot is castor oil. Castor oil is about £7 for a kilo, and it is a great addition to your soap making. Just a little bit, not too much. Under 5% works great. I actually got carried away years ago and thought, oh, castor oil adds more bubbles into your soap. So I upped it and upped it and upped it until I put that much castor oil in my soap. There was no bubbles whatsoever. The soap was seizing straight away. This is all just me, you know, practicing a lot. So yeah, castor oil is a great addition. The other thing is, like, coconut oil tends to be good for creating bubbles as well, and in the past I've upped and upped and upped that while practicing, but you can get to a point where the soap becomes very dry and the bubbles actually aren't that great. So it's all about playing about with certain ingredients, up and down. Now this is going to be much further into the series, because the different oils and butters that you put in your soap do different things to your soap. So they can make them more bubbly, less bubbly, harder, softer, etc, etc, etc. They're all the things we're going to be dealing with in the Soap Making from Scratch series. Just quickly back to the sodium lactate. I might buy some, because some of these recipes I might find that we actually need it just for unmoulding. I know for a fact when you make an olive oil only soap, you can't really unmould it the next day. you'll unmold it in a few days, because a fully liquid oil in a bar takes longer to saponify or get hard enough so you can remove it from the mould than a soap with butters and oils. 50 solid, 50 liquid is round about a good figure to work on, so that you can unmould your soap after 24 hours. The more liquid you've got in there, the longer it'll take to unmould, and the more solid you've got in there, the quicker you'll be able to unmould it. As I said, we're not going to be dealing with colours or fragrances yet. We need to get used to what soap feels like without adding fragrance or colours. And fragrances and colours we'll deal with in the future. That's a whole nother wonderful world of soap making. But yeah, it's difficult if you're just learning to make soap and you add fragrance and your soap seizes instantly and it just puts you off. You think, what's wrong? You can't understand it, because every single fragrance has a different speed of acceleration to it, so that's why we're not dealing with that yet. Right, that concludes episode 3 of soap making from scratch. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out the playlist in the description box below if you missed any previous videos. And you're very welcome here, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon for another video from Eden's Secret. Tomorrow we'll be dealing with something else. So bye bye for now.